Welcome to Sykes, the Bottom Line Pharmacy Podcast, your regular dose of pharmacy CPA advice to fuel your bottom line, featuring pharmacists, key vendors, and other innovators.
Your checks, yes, you can call me, because we the best, Sykes and Company. We the best, Sykes and Company. Your accounting is a mess, there's no need for you to stress. Go online and request from the best. We the best, Sykes and Company. We the best, Sykes and Company. Yes.
What's up, Bonnie?
How much? Like my shirt?
I'm Moxa chilling. Did you get that one at a trade show?
Of course. 95% of my t-shirts have something to do with pharmacy on them. I know people think, like, what in the world?
Yeah.
That's okay.
The socks are a big hit, too. T-shirts.
Socks are good. What are you doing for your birthday?
Nothing. No plans.
You got everything ready for Thursday?
I made the cranberry sauce last night. Gonna do the corn pudding tonight. Just chipping away at it.
Yep. Little by little.
You gonna make your pie?
Yes, correctly this time.
I bet people
That
are
was
so
bad.
excited to get that. What is it, pumpkin pie?
Mm-hmm.
People are so excited about eating a good piece of fresh pumpkin
Yeah, I
pie.
usually take like 4. So everybody
You make
likes
4
it.
pies?
Yeah. Cool Whip.
How many y'all got?
A lot. Not like you.
19? We got 19 this year.
Oh, we might have more than that. My aunt and her kids, and then her kids, and then my mom's crew. But anyway, and you know, people don't want to be like that. So some people, I think, probably tried to harf it down. You can always count on my dad. He was like, something's wrong. Like, he finally was like, something's not right with your body.
Somebody whispered
And
to your dad, like, say
No, he
something.
was trying to eat it, and he was like, and so I was like, what? So because I hadn't tried a bite, and so I took a bite, and I was like, spit it out. Then I went and got the pies and threw them all in the trash.
Too bad.
And I knew exactly what happened. So, immediately.
What's your favorite side?
Stuffing.
You like stuffing? Do you call it stuffing or dressing?
Both.
I do too.
And I don't know, my grandma, well, I guess my mom still tries. My grandma used to make it like straight up from the drippings and everything. Straight.
Well, that's gravy.
No. Like some of the, I don't know. She used it to make this. It's not like just Pepperidge Farm stuffing mix. I don't even know how to do it. I just know she used
I
to
put
use
the
like.
Pepperidge Farm in the turkey.
Okay.
You stuff the turkey, so
I don't know. I just know she didn't just make, fake stuffing. She did something.
Yeah.
And then she put it in a pan and then like baked it.
Yummy.
So good.
Yummy. So I take the drippings and make gravy out of that after the turkey.
Yep. Real gravy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, mama. Knock your socks off.
Love it.
So what's new in pharmacy, Bonnie?
Are we recording? Oh my gosh. I didn't know we were recording. Well, you just went to a show, right?
Northeast Pharmacy Service Corporation.
Okay.
NPSC invited me to speak. Mr. Ed there.
You just got back last
Invited
week
me.
from that. Yeah.
I got back last week. Ed is the new, I believe, director there. He invited me. Great guy. Tell you what, Bonnie, they had it was a all-day classes. It was an evening class, and then they went
Right.
into an all-day class the next day with some vendor breaks and things like that. And it was really good. It was a great event. Great.
I know, even they were not pharmacists, it is really great when we go to these shows to pop into some of these courses and immerse ourselves in these things that we try to understand. It definitely
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah. So I had nothing else to do but be there all day. So I sat in the classes. And the first class was John Roberti with Cohen Gresser. He is the attorney that is heading up the PBM attack with the NCPA and the Trust LLC, where you can assign your rights, DRFI legal rights to
Right.
the NCPA Trust LLC, and that attorney and his group, a couple others, I'm sure, will, take those cases against Caremark and the rest of them as they see fit. So he spoke and gave a pretty good update on where things are. It sounds like they've won one legal battle, which is good. There's a lot more to go and a lot more steps to go, but he said by next year, at the end of next year, they'll have a really good idea of where this kind of all the legal fights are going.
Should be interesting with the change in.
Should be. So that was pretty good update from him. I mean, he's definitely passionate about going after these PBMs. If you saw, if you were at NCPA in Orlando a couple years ago, they were on stage and he was attacking them pretty good. Fightpbms.com is the Trust LLC thing. Trenton Feed with PAS National, who's been a guest on our podcast. I'll tell you what, Bonnie. We know pharmacy accounting, tax, and advisory. That guy knows pharmacy regulatory audits and all that stuff. That guy's an encyclopedia, man.
Important topic.
It is very important. But that guy knows this stuff. That was pretty awesome. Good. All that's mainly over my head. Doesn't really concern what we do more or less.
Right.
So
definitely important to the pharmacists for sure.
Mm-hmm. And we had Randy McDonough. I'm going to mess this up. McDonough, Towncrest Pharmacy in Iowa. I believe he's in Iowa. And he spoke. He's got several stores. He's leading a lot of turnkey stuff there in Iowa. Mover and shaker, if you will. But he's really all in on various services, clinical type services. And he had pulled up a slide he had like 60 different services that he's providing outside of filling scripts. So you name it, he was.
That's amazing. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. So
Makes a difference.
I spoke after him, and I was like, I'll tell you what, Randy's class, music to my ears, because he was talking about all the diversified revenue and expanding scope of practice for pharmacies and really, really cool stuff. And of course, everybody else, what we always say, find one. This guy had, Randy had about 60 or however many he had. And Ed and even Randy was like, pick one of these and then get it in the market, figure out how to do it well, and then just start building off of it. So find what's working, what you can do in your market, and diversify that revenue away from those PBMs. I talked about what we always talk about, which I was asked to talk about, fundamental accounting, why that's important. Because if you don't have it, you don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're doing. So you got to have that as an asset in your business. Once you have that, I talked about how to get it, what to do. Talked about some tax tips, qualified business income deduction, other things, cost segregation studies, things like that. And then I talked about the BOI reporting, the FinCEN BOI reporting. You got to the end of the year to file that BOI report, beneficial ownership information report, part of the FinCEN, FINCEN. If you Google FinCEN BOI, you can go to fincen.gov, I think it is, and file those reports. Penalties, $500 a day for non-compliance. So if you're listening in, you hadn't done that, we got a previous podcast back in January with Burnett and Associates on this topic. Check that out. You got to do it.
That's quite a penalty if you don't. $500 a day will add up very quickly.
It's a lot of money. And then those are civil penalties, criminal penalties, $10,000. So Pay attention to
That's
that. If you
extreme.
start new LLCs or new businesses, if you change ownerships, be aware of the BOI.
I guess that
And then
rounds out trade show season for us this year.
That does round out trade show season.
That's it, right? Nothing else for November, December.
That's it. Now, next in January, we have the Infusion Vital Care.
Yep. First time there. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting. But also talked about, Bonnie, is, tax changes with the election results and what that's going to mean. So there will be a lot of content from us next year. There's going to be a lot of tax stuff for pharmacy. So buckle up. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So tax planning will be big next year. Tax changes are going to be big. I'm sure there'll be something because the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is many parts of it are set to expire. So there will be some legislation of some sort, whether the IRS is abolished altogether or they expand the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and add some pieces to it. We're in the add-back season, Bonnie, so add-backs is ongoing right now, which is when your fringe benefits for your employees and you as owners and S-Corp situations have to have those fringe benefits added back to your payroll.
Well, with Thanksgiving being late this year, Scotty, when we come back to work, it's going to be December already. Isn't that crazy?
That's what I hear.
So next week is December. We're going to be really making sure everybody should make sure whether you're a client of ours or not that the year-end kind of processes are in order, taken care of. Payroll add-backs, we talk about those. We make sure our clients are handling those end of the year. 1099s are going to hit as soon as this year is complete. Payroll tax returns, some of those are year-end you can take care of. What else?
I get a lot of questions about add-backs.
Yeah. Oh, personal use of company
Add-back.
cars.
Get a lot of questions.
Let's
So
talk
if you
about
have
that.
a personal,
Because we get a lot of questions
if
about
you
the
have a
cars.
vehicle on a business vehicle, right? It's a business car.
You're depreciating it on your depreciation schedule.
You're writing it off. Well, that's a business car. It's not a personal vehicle. So if you're writing that off against taxable income, lowering your taxable income, right? You can't just then go use that business vehicle for personal use. That's free. That's
Correct.
That's not fair.
Right. Because you can't take mileage and depreciation.
No, you can't.
So that's where the confusion comes in. One of the biggest questions I always get, people are misunderstanding, I think would be the word, is people believe that driving from their home to the pharmacy or any place of business is business miles. And that is not correct. So if you're
commuting
you're
is
right.
not business.
Same thing for me. Nobody reimburses me if I drive to the office. So it would be the same for a pharmacist that drives to their store that they own. So if you have a business vehicle on the books that you're depreciating and you're driving it, even if all you do is drive it back and forth to home, back and forth to the store, that's technically, if you're not making a delivery on the way, that's technically not business miles.
So the personal use, you don't just get free use of a business car.
Right.
So the personal use is calculated. There's different ways of calculating the personal use mileage in these tables and IRS tables. So that's added back to your payroll. It's income.
It's income. It's taxable. Yep.
Because you're using a business car for your own personal use. That's income. That's a benefit.
And one of the things, people, I know there's a lot of estimation going out there. Even if you're doing that, there's probably a lot of people who weren't doing that at all, doing the add back for the personal portion of your mileage.
Oh, gosh.
But even if you're doing it, I know there's some people that are probably estimating it, but just be careful. If you're ever audited in this situation, and we definitely have seen where that happens, they're going to want logs and, details of those trips. And obviously that seems very tedious. But there are a lot of apps out there that can help you do that digitally now.
MileIQ
Yep.
is one.
Yep. So it makes it a little easier than actually sitting and writing it down every time you get in your car. But just keep that in mind. That's definitely
Yeah,
something to
because
look
if
at.
the IRS audits, they're going to audit you, and they're going to say, all right, I need your minutes. If you're a corporation, I need your minute book, and they're going to say depreciation schedule. They're going to look if there's a car on it. I need your mileage logs.
Yep.
That support the business use.
It's
If you
true.
don't have those, the IRS is going to say, all right, let's get digging. They're going to
keep going.
it's going to open the floodgates for an audit, right? They're going to think you don't have receipts and you don't have everything to support. So they're going to be licking their chops. But if you got it, they're going to say, oh, okay, this pharmacy's got everything. They've got everything ready to go. They got all the documentation. We'll probably be ending this one early and moving on to the next. So documentation's key.
It's also a great time if you're an S corporation. You have to add back, if you are greater than 2% shareholder, you have to add back the amount that the business has paid for your health insurance during the year. So you're W2. That's right. If you want to truly be able to deduct it as you should and do it correctly on your 1040, it has to be done as an add back and on your K1 and shown on your W2 as well. So.
Yep. Health insurance to be deducted for an S corporation owner has to be added back to your W2 and written off on your 1040 on Schedule 1 deduction, S corp health insurance deduction, to be able to deduct that. Yep.
So if you're someone
it's the weirdest thing. I don't even understand why they did make that rules that way.
It's the same effect, but you just have to go around that way to do it to make it.
Yeah.
But just to be clear, I mean, again, an auditor could disallow that deduction if it has it go through that flow of paperwork is all it is.
That's right. That's right.
And that could be a big number because that is usually the 2% shareholder, greater than 2% shareholder into the family plan, usually there too. So, we see $20,000 easy on some of those deductions for the full cost of health insurance for some people.
Yeah. So add back season is in full force.
1099s, get all that straight. If you've been paying people throughout the year, you should get a 1099 for someone that's not a W-2 employee that's working for you, doing things in the store, fixing things, that sort of thing. You should get it before you pay them so that if you never see them again, that you do have that information. But if it's a great time to go through your list of contractors and different things and make sure you have that documentation before the end of the year, and it's time to prepare the 1099s. Then trying to track people down
before you pay them.
Yeah.
Get the W-9 before you pay them. Speaking of IRS audits, if you don't have all the business mileage and all that support, they're going to then get into the 1099 piece. And the penalties for non-compliance with 1099s can be extreme in certain circumstances.
And make sure you have people characterized in the right categories too.
Yeah, if you have any control over that person, when they come to work, what they do, the tools they're using, any say in what they do and how they do their job, they're likely an employee and they better be on W-2 or.
Yeah, if you have anybody that's working at the store, and if they're like a pharmacist or a tech filling in and that sort of thing, if they're not coming from one of those businesses that's like what they're for, and sometimes you see those and those make sense. But if that they're 1099s because you're actually paying that money directly to that company. But if this just pharmacist off the street that's just filling in and you're paying it, if they're coming in when you tell them to and they have set hours and they're using your equipment in the store, they should be a W-2 employee.
Yeah, like pharmacist fill-ins.
Yeah, unless they're coming from an agency, a fill-in agency.
Unless you've signed like a contract for an LLC, pharmacy fill-in LLC. You got an employer relationship there. Most likely. So be careful with that. Payroll taxes, you don't want to be caught with back payroll taxes and penalties and interest. There's usually no forgiveness there. Sometimes you can say, "Oh, well, we messed up." Usually payroll tax they're not flexible. Penalty and interest. Bing. Interest rates are high now at the IRS. Speaking of which, Bonnie, estimated taxes. Be careful of those. Be planning for that. If you haven't been paying estimates, and you should have been this year, your quarterly estimates to the IRS. The IRS says that pass-through income from your partnerships, your S corps that you're getting throughout the year, you got to pay your taxes throughout the year for that income. So estimated taxes is what they want you to do, and those are due April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, January 15th. So you may be required to do those estimates. So you want to pay those because the underpayment penalties can add up with these in this interest rate environment to multiple thousands of dollars of pretty much extra tax. So be checking that going into the end of the year. I saw a mouse in the office here today.
Yeah.
Crawl out of Linda's office.
Does it have like a little
Dude, it was a big mouse too, man. It was like
it a rat or a mouse?
No, it was not a rat. It was a mouse. So Linda's over here setting mouse traps.
You enjoyed that too much.
Yeah.
Is she doing like the humane mouse traps or
no? These are kill the mouse.
Kill them.
Like you did. Yeah.
I had to kill the mouse first. I have a great story about someone that we both know that I can't say the name because it's a podcast, but I'm pretty sure a couple years ago he told me that he had a mouse problem, and he did like the ones that you put like a big bucket and they fall in and then they just fall in, and then you get a bunch, and then he was going and just releasing them in his yard. So they're going to run right back in.
Just get a cat.
Get a cat.
I'm going to bring my cat up here.
Or a mousetrap that actually kills them.
Or that.
You know what's terrible is those ones that they stick to. Now, I don't like that. I like the quick. It's over. No pain. It's over. But
chop your neck off.
They just... It's probably what Linda's using. But the ones...
Yes, I saw her snap her finger off over there.
The old school brown wooden ones.
Yeah.
We put some peanut butter on it. Those are good, but the ones that they just stick to the stuff and they suffer for like a day, those are awful. I don't like that.
Oh gosh, no. That doesn't sound humane.
No. But I'm okay with the quick. It's over. They didn't even know it's coming. They're eating some cheese, peanut butter. That's how I want to go.
What?
Eating cheese or peanut butter?
Would you rather have cheese or peanut butter?
It's a hard one.
What's your favorite? All right, how about this? What's your favorite cheese?
I would say pepper jack because I like a little bit of spice. But if I just had to have one, I would just go for the best basic cheddar.
Classic cheddar?
Just cheddar. Sharp.
Sharp cheddar's good.
What about you?
Man, I kind of like Swiss.
Kind of bland.
I like mozzarella. Like a block of real mozzarella.
How about Munster?
Munster? Can't say I've really had Munster. Like,
is that the way you say it? I think that's right. I like it.
How about Gruyere cheese?
I'm not that fancy. If I've had it, I wouldn't even know. It's just basically cheddar.
What's the worst cheese in the world that smells like armpits? Hold on.
Brie?
Something burger. Luthen's burger. Wait,
I don't like blue cheese.
Hold on.
Now you're Googling like I did Ed McMahon. I had to go down a whole rabbit hole with that.
Limburger.
Smells like armpit.
Limburger. We went, Carol and I were, it was her birthday or something weekend, and we were just driving from the mountains. We stopped at a winery,
Uh-huh.
a hole in the wall winery. I'm telling you, man, it was like homemade wine up in there. And they had this like cheese board out, huge cheese board, all these cheeses, and Limburger was on there. So Carol ate Limburger on her birthday, which I found hilarious because it's the most disgusting cheese.
Did she think it was disgusting?
Oh yeah, she about threw up. Yeah, disgusting.
Could anyone possibly like that? Or maybe it's an acquired taste. It's got to be.
When do you eat Limburger?
You know what I eat? Is cheese dip.
Man, it's been a long week, man. I need some Limburger.
What's the cheese dip that you have at the Mexican restaurant? Because that's the best cheese.
Queso. That's queso.
I mean, that's all you need. You pour that on anything, eat it with anything, dip anything in it.
Just drink it. Just
pour it. Whatever I get there at a Mexican restaurant, I always just order the cheese dip and pour it on top of it.
Can't go wrong with that.
You think anyone goes to that restaurant on Thanksgiving?
Where?
Is anyone eating Mexican on Thanksgiving?
Or
is it just strictly turkey?
Turkey fajitas? Turkey tacos?
Now, my mother-in-law would use every piece of that turkey on and on and on until it's gone. So she probably will eventually make stuff for, you could make tacos towards the end. It usually hits a casserole, then it becomes sandwiches, then it's like...
No, sandwiches is first.
Well, true. Then as it gets older, it becomes a casserole.
Yeah, I got my menu this year. I'm doing 2 turkeys, stuffing cranberry.
Are you baking them?
Cranberry, man.
Roasting them?
Cranberry is pretty good.
Or do you fry your turkey?
I bake them. Yeah, I bake them. So doing the turk, mashed taters, corn pudding, collards. Collards, I'll tell you what, that was the most popular side dish here.
Yes, if people haven't seen it, we have a Thanksgiving video that we put together. It's our first year, so give us a break. First time doing a video like that.
I think that's just going to clients, so...
I don't know. He said he might put some snaps on social media.
Okay.
So you may see some of it. But yes, collards came up many times.
Hot. Did you notice where Dad and I were asked our favorite dessert? And we
both
the
same thing. And you both said collards. Yeah, perfect.
We were both like, that's a tough one. Pecan pie. But dude, he loves some vanilla ice cream.
Vanilla.
So
I've never had ice cream on pecan pie.
You haven't? No, yeah, it's good.
I bet.
Tasty. All right, well, bring me a pecan pie.
No, it'll be pumpkin.
Or pumpkin.
With sugar, not salt, this year.
I got to try this famous pumpkin pie.
We hope that everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah. To all our listeners and clients listening in.
Got one more month left of the year.
We're thankful for you listening to us ramble and goof off sometimes. We try to bring you some good content, and we appreciate everybody listening in, Bonnie.
Yeah, we're excited about this. Month of December is all we have left for this year, and then probably a very exciting 2025. That
we got some exciting ideas. We got some exciting ideas
internally, yeah,
for content, and so we'll have to see.
It's going to be an active 25.
It will be. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be busy. But we will bring you. We'll have all the updates as it unfolds. Thankfully, because all we do is pharmacy. When these things happen, we can study it from a pharmacy perspective only. We don't have to worry about car dealerships and restaurants and
contractors, farmers.
Yeah, so that helps because these things are massive changes. So
for everybody, for sure.
Anyway, thanks everybody for listening in. We hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving, and we certainly appreciate you putting up with me and Bonnie sometimes and
Yes.
having some fun with us. Y'all take care of that.
Yes.